Hey, Facebook family. I am literally in the parking lot, about to do go do a fitting for being a brideswoman. Actually, sorry, no, groomswoman. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. So, anyways, I'm waiting to see if my one-to-one client Carla is going to be hopping on. This will be her first time doing a live. So let's see if it works for her. And if not, that means we could redo it again. So I've been on a couple of calls oh, there's Carla. Okay, I'm going to bring you on. Hey, Lily. Nice seeing you. Hope you're doing well. So I'm bringing Carla on camera. Oh, there you are. Hi.
Hello, hello. How are
Welcome
you?
to your first live interview.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So Carla, she has a horrible life. She travels between California and Vegas for work. I'm so sorry.
I know. It's fun though.
Yeah, so Carla, we started working together 2 months ago. Yeah, we're in our third month together, working together one to one. And I actually want you to share, like, what made you decide to want to work with me, and how have I been different from other mentors and coaches you've worked with?
I think it's been that you've actually been genuine. You didn't promise me the world, and it wasn't so much cookie cutter. And that's what I had found in other coaches that I was actually involved with, is that they wanted to place me with everybody else, and that really didn't work for me. And so it was really funny. I was in another group, and one of the people actually mentioned you, and so I was like, you know what, I've been following her for a while, what do you think about her? And she told me, she goes, oh my God, you're gonna love her, contact her, this, that, and the other. And so I did, and it kind of worked out for me. So that's how it's really, really different.
Yeah, and then you made 300K after 3 sessions working with me, and that was all through relationship building, really, and just being in fucking alignment too. Can you talk more about that?
It was, I can say that it's really about, for me, it was about believing in myself. And a lot of things prior to
Hmm.
working with you, I did not do. I did not believe. And you're always looking at, I'll never make that much money. I'll never do this. I'll never do that. And literally it's in your mindset. And it was like working with you. One day I woke up, I said, well, why can't I make this type of money? Well, why can't I drive this type of car? Well, why can't I, live in this house? And in doing that, it's really funny because, like I said, I was drawing on one of my boards at work, and this is the job that, I ended up leaving, but I was drawing on one of my boards at work, and something just came over me and said, don't get comfortable. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm nervous. And, again, it's mindset. And so I ended up leaving that job. I ended up getting over 100K in a severance package. And I said, now I'm just going to wait. This is what I want. I want to do this, this, and this. And you actually told me that. And so it's like when I started really kind of putting forth what I really wanted, that's when everything started to happen. So you helped me kind of change that mindset to say, I can have these things. I will have these things, and now I'm actually living the manifestation.
What are you living exactly? Can you let people know what you're doing right now? You're at a hotel that your work's paying
I
for, so
am,
and they're
yeah,
paying
yeah.
for food. God, I want that shit.
They
But go
pay,
ahead,
yeah,
share it. Share
they,
everything that
yeah.
you're doing right now.
So they pay for, yeah, they pay for my room. I have like a mini suite. They pay for that. They pay for my flights back and forth home. They pay for my car rental, so I don't have to drive. All of my meals are included. I don't have to do any of that. So kind of makes it good. I actually run 13 hospitals between Vegas and LA. So it's a big job, but I got to a point, I was sitting in my office one day and I said, I can do this. It's a numbers game. It's like I've dealt with $1 billion AR, and then when I literally broke it down, I'm like, okay, I'm not even dealing with this $1 billion, in revenue. So it's like, I can do this. This is easy. So
And how much,
that's
and
what I'm
we're
living a
doing,
good life.
we were doing the numbers, but how much money per month do you generate for the company? I remember we are doing these numbers.
Almost 200. Uh, I don't want to lie. I'm trying to think here. I think it was 100. Well, the last time I looked, it was 168 million, but it's more than that now. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it's
168
almost
million.
200
Yeah.
million dollars. Yeah, and that's a month.
Kind of, you know, kind of like knowing that my clients are creating revenue more than me. I would love to make $168 million, but that's fine.
Yeah, it
What?
doesn't come without hard work, but it's what I love to do.
Yeah, and what was your hesitancy working with me, whether it's me or the coaching industry? Because I've even been hearing how a lot of people are so hesitant to invest in other coaches. But what was your hesitancy and how did you overcome it?
My hesitant The reason I was hesitant, and it wasn't even towards you. I think it was just in the coaching arena, period, because again,
Mm-hmm.
people want to put you in a box. They want to tell you, my thing is, I'm trying to work on my niche. I'm trying to figure out what is that I do, because on one side of me, I'm an executive. On the other side of me, I'm a professional makeup artist, that's been published. And so it's like, how do I fit these two together to make it work? You don't usually see that together. And so people were trying to put me in with, somebody that does clothes styling, somebody that does wellness, somebody, just different things. And so I got to a point, I've been with coaches for about 2 years now. And I got to a point where I was like, I'm done, because I'm paying all this money and I'm not getting what I'm looking for. And so it wasn't until, a mutual friend, actually, her and I were in another mastermind, and she was telling about you, and I said, let me go, and I watched you, and I said, yep, this is who I need to be. They get me.
Yeah, and that client, I don't mind. Do you mind sharing the name? I'm pretty sure she won't be.
Oh
She,
no.
yeah, it's actually Randy who I've been working with 1-to-1 and now is in my mastermind, but I'm still working with her. So, what I would love to ask you, like, what advice would you give to anyone that's kind of on the bench of wanting to work with me?
I say, like Nike, just do it. I mean, it's one of those things where I've learned over time that your gut feeling is always going to tell you. And if something is resonating with you, then you need to act on it. 9 times out of 10, what we do is we place this negativity. Oh, I don't have the money. Oh, I don't have the time. Oh, I don't have the energy. Believe me, if nobody has the time and energy, it's probably me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got to a point, I'm like, okay, for the things that we really want in life, you're going to make the time. You're going to
Yep.
have the energy. I did a live yesterday, and one of the girls asked me, she says, I don't understand how you do it all. And I'm like, it's not for anybody to understand. I just, I get through it and I do it. But that's because I'm driven to do what I love to do. And that's really where you've got to be. You've got to be driven. Granted, you're the coach, you're going to say yay or nay, but it's really up to us to actually implement what you're actually giving us. If you don't do that, then to me, it's on me. It's my fault for spending that money and not investing truly in myself.
And I mean, this is not even about me, but now that you've been in business, you know, you've hired other coaches that didn't work out, you're making the amazing results. What advice would you give to anyone starting their business or wanting to scale?
First of all, it takes time, it takes patience. This probably 3 years, and within that 3 year period of time, I think I've changed. So I started off as a going into, let me do makeup, and then I got to a point, I'm like, well, anybody can go on YouTube and watch makeup videos. I want to do something totally different. And so you really have to think about, what is your passion, what do you want to do, and what are you good at.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, granted, let's just say, if I really wanted to be a singer, my husband tells me, he goes, he said, you're a lounge singer. You can make money out in Las Vegas. But I'm like, I don't want to do that. That's not something I want to do, even though I do it as a hobby. But you have to figure out what that thing is that you're good at, and really figure out what your purpose is. And you're not going to always find your purpose in what you're doing. You have to continue to do it. And once you start doing it and continue to do it over and over, guess what? Your purpose really starts to kind of bubble up, and you really understand
Yes.
what it is.
I actually love that you're saying that because it's so interesting. I meet people and like, I need to figure it out first. When in reality, you actually have to go dive deep in, make
Mhm.
mistakes, and you figure out
Mhm.
along the journey.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. And so the line of business that I've been in for 30 years. But then what happens is I found within that business, I did a lot of coaching to other executives, and in doing that, that's when I'm like, okay, well, maybe this is something. Then I started doing makeup and I started coaching the models that were in my chair. So I said, okay, there's something to this. And that's really when I really started to realize, okay, this is my purpose. This is what I was meant to do.
Yes.
And that's when I started really working on it.
Oh, and you're such a soulmate client to work with, just so you know. Um, it was really interesting. And as she's talking about this, I remember the first thing that she told me when we had that first like discovery or sales call was, "Hey Tammy, nice seeing you, by the way." Was I need to know my niche. Like I need to know it. And we've been able to hone it down now, which has been
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. So I look at it and I'm like, well, here I am, and this is what I need to do. Now it's really time to come out, get online, which is what I've been doing, and really start to talk. And so the more that I start
Sorry,
to, the more
I keep telling Carla now, I was like, you need to share this story.
I know every time I come out with a story, every time I tell her a story, she's like, "You've never put that out there?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, why would I put that out there?" And then, she's like, "You need to tell that story." So it's really funny because I'm in the middle of writing a book that has these stories in it. So, it's really interesting to realize where I came from, and to where I am today. And so I really think that, just the average person could actually relate to that because it's like, I didn't come from, a bunch of money and making a bunch of money. And
No.
now, it's just like, no, I came from like, I can tell you making $16,000 a year. Okay. So, and now, I'm at multiple six figures. So yeah, it's a mindset. It's getting with the right person that can actually coach you through. I look at it as I'm investing in myself. And people get stuck in, well, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. And it's not until you get down the road and you're like, I've been doing this for a year and I haven't gotten any results. Now it's time for me to look. Well, don't do that. Realize that everybody, and I tell this, especially when they talk about people being self-made millionaires, self-made billionaires, nobody is self-made. You
No.
actually had a team to help you get to that level of where you are. And so you're always going to need people at different levels of your life, different levels of your business.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. I love it. And last question, why have you continued wanting to work with me? We've been like working together for 3 months now.
I think because you hold me accountable, even though my life is so hectic. Like it's funny because I can actually tell you, I'll be honest, I'll be like, yeah, I didn't do that this week because I had this, this, and this going on. But I promise you I'll get to it next week. And usually what happens is, my dad always said, your word is bond. What you say, you make sure you follow through it. And so I make sure and do everything I have to do to make sure that I get that when you and I meet, I have my stuff done.
Yeah. And she does
Mhm.
get it done. Look at the incredible. She's at the Marriott right now at Vegas. And then, you know, do you take a private jet, by the way?
You
I
know
know we
what?
were talking about this.
I haven't done that yet.
Okay, we need to
However,
manifest it for you.
no, 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 I haven't done that yet. It's just that I haven't. The thing about it is I'd have to drive. I think I have to drive to Burbank or
Mm.
I have to drive
Oh
to
no, and you're
Pasadena.
far.
Yeah, to
Okay.
to take the jet. But that's okay because I'm going to Bali in September, so maybe, we'll see about it then.
All right, you just call me when you take the jet, and if you need like +1 to balance the plane, you call me. Okay. Um,
Gotcha.
well, so I think I just had 2 more people signed up. So I have 5 more one-to-ones if you're interested. It's my one-to-one intensive. Carla's just a perfect example of results. But I mean, Carla knew this, wanting to work with me. My clients get results. So you could stalk my results. So I will put the link below. You can put your first name and email, and we'll see if it's a good fit. But thank you so much, Carla, for your time.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me. And hello, everybody. It's nice to see you.
Yay! And go follow Carla, by the way. She's actually going to be a guest speaker next month, July
Yeah.
20th. Yes,
Yep.
July 20th. Everyone.